Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.
Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
And I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Welcome to the first Kulturecast of Horrortober. I am your host, Chris Stachiw. It is my favorite time of the year, October, horror movies. And I know that it is also the best time of the year for my co-host as well.
How did you know? That's right. How did you know?
I know these things. I know that you and I are huge fans of horror. It's like whenever we talk about the movies that we watch before we talk about the movie we're supposed to talk about, it often just leans towards horror.
Yeah, it generally is for me.
It's normally always horror movies. So the first movie of Horrortober that we're going to be talking about is A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. Not the original, unfortunately, for those of you who are looking forward to us talking about a good movie. But before we talk about A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010, we used to do the Stream Police once a week over on cultureshock.com, where we would talk about movies and TV shows and documentaries on Netflix that we thought were worth checking out. It's been a while since we've done that, so we've decided, hey, we talk about movies on the Kulturecast, so why don't we do the Stream Police on the Kulturecast? So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first edition of the Stream Police on the Kulturecast. Mr. Liang.
Yes.
I know you watch a hell of a lot of Netflix, as do I, though I do feel like I spend more time looking for something to watch on Netflix rather than
actually watching something.
Totally stuff. So give me two picks this week for you for the Stream Police.
Well, I've been watching Amanda Knox. I still have like a few minutes left to finish, but I'm pretty much done with it. And
Netflix has just been buying up these documentaries left and right.
Yeah, they are. It's interesting to see. Like, I've actually heard that one of my teachers has like a Netflix documentary series that's coming on Netflix. It's crazy. They have so much content like that.
Yeah, they really do.
Well, I'm always excited when Netflix has documentaries up, and this one was featured, so I was kind of forced to watch a trailer for it several times.
Yeah, dude, I got a text message on my phone about it.
Really?
Like a notification from the Netflix app. It was like, something you may like, Amanda Knox. I was like, all right, I know what this is about, so sure.
Yeah, Netflix got really excited with their making a murderer. So I feel like they threw this out there, and this is really interesting. I mean, I like it, but I know we were talking before, and it does feel a little bit like you get what you kind of the story that we see in the documentary is the same one that we already know. You know what I mean? There's not much.
Right.
There's not much else that kind of sheds in. But I do have to say that it was disturbing to see how politicized that event was, and how much nationalism became such a factor, and how it stops. I don't know. It's always scary. And I think we're seeing it more and more, the way evidence and facts are kind of, very pushed, by bias and all of these like you said, the media, I think it's just
Oh yeah, the media blew it completely out of proportion.
Yeah, it's disturbing. You feel like you have no justice.
Well, and you know, I watched a documentary as well, and obviously it covers the Amanda Knox case, and then they also talk with kind of the people involved now in 2015/2016. You know, I'm a little less kind of high on it than maybe you are. I felt a little disappointed, honestly. I personally wouldn't suggest anybody watch it because I just feel like it's kind of, you can get more information from just hanging over the Wikipedia page.
That's probably true. Yeah, this is the first time I like heard about it. Like I remember I heard about it, but I didn't know much about what happened. And
Gotcha.
So it's interesting to at least hear the story for the first time. You know, really for the first time.
Right.
But yeah, it was also I don't know. I kept wondering if I was being racist or if I was like, because when I would listen to like the Italian officers like describe it, I was like, it just seemed so unfair. You know what I mean?
Oh, they're being racist.
Yeah, I mean that's how I felt too. But I was, you know, it's just such an interesting thing to watch for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Anything else? What else you got? Anything else you've been watching?
Jaws, the like trilogy is now on.
The whole trilogy?
Yeah, all three of them are there. And I watched the first one. I mean, the other day I had to watch Jaws to start off October. But that's, I mean, and God knows it's like one of the best. It's a classic for a reason. Because still seeing that shark in the water, like as an actor, I'm thinking, God, if I had to be in the water with that machine, even if it, you know, that's scary. It's scary. There's something about it. So I love that movie, and if you haven't seen it, you should, and it's now that easily available. All three of them.
I mean, I would personally say the first film is Spielberg's best.
Oh yeah,
one of Spielberg's best films. Just everything about it is so iconic and great.
Absolutely.
So, the third one, not so much. The second one, not so much.
Yeah.
The third one is downright terrible.
The third one is like almost a joke. I mean, they're on jet skis or something. Like what?
Yeah. For me, let's see. I started watching. I've seen it a million times, but I started watching it again because anytime I see it suggested, I watch it. Event Horizon. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Sean, but it's like it is a space gothic horror sci-fi movie with Lawrence Fishburne and Sam Neill, and a lot of the imagery in the film is what inspired the video game Dead Space and the Dead Space universe. So it's like Lawrence Fishburne and Sam Neill are going to find this ship that used a worm, like a black hole, to travel from one end of the universe to the other. They get to the ship and everything goes insane because that's the way these movies go. But it is gory and awesome, and I would probably say the best Paul Anderson movie, not P.T. Anderson, but other Paul Anderson, director of Resident Evil, that it's his best movie. And it's better than Mortal Kombat. So
I actually haven't seen that. I didn't see that movie because I didn't know it was a horror movie.
It's a horror movie, but it's like sci-fi horror.
Right, but that's some good shit.
I feel like it's more horror than sci-fi, if that makes sense. Yeah. It's a horror movie that happens to be set on a spaceship, if that makes sense.
See, I didn't know that. I'm all about it. I gotta watch that.
Yeah. What else? What else have I watched? Let me just look at my recently watched. Oh, speaking of A Nightmare on Elm Street. Something that I would suggest if you are a fan of A Nightmare on Elm Street, and I think you know what I'm going to say, Sean.
I think I do.
Never Sleep Again.
Yes.
Is hands down one of the best documentaries I've seen about a film trilogy. It is so damn good.
It's so good. If you really want to, you'll really understand the franchise after that documentary.
Right. And it makes me so sad too because Wes Craven passed away last year.
I know.
It makes me sad seeing him talk, and I'm just like, oh God, my favorite horror director.
Oh, absolutely, mine too.
Is not able to make films anymore.
I know. I'm so incredible. I was heartbroken that I would never get to work with him.
Yeah, I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken that I never got to interview him for the site. Yeah.
So sad. So sad.
Scream and A Nightmare on Elm Street are those two franchises are my mountaintop franchises.
Oh,
Top
absolutely.
mountain. So, but Never Sleep Again. It's a 4-hour Nightmare on Elm Street documentary.
I love it.
So you can watch it in 3 sittings, but it covers from A Nightmare on Elm Street to Freddy versus Jason, because I want to say it came out, I think it came out the same year as the remake did.
Yeah, I want to say it was definitely,
Yeah, so they hadn't done the remake yet. Not like the people who were in the remake need to be interviewed, honestly.
Yeah, it's really irrelevant to the series, so.
Yeah, it's completely irrelevant to the series, but yeah, Never Sleep Again is really great. And if you like Never Sleep Again, the Friday the 13th version, where they do the exact same thing for the Friday the 13th series, is pretty good as well. Crystal Lake Memories. It's actually done by the exact same guy.
Oh, I didn't know that existed, and
I want to say it's like way longer too.
Oh, I'm so in.
Never Sleep Again is like 238 minutes, and Crystal Lake Memories is like it's like 7 hours long, something like that. It's like six or 7 hours long.
That's crazy. Well, there's a lot more Friday the 13th films, aren't there?
Yeah, well, yeah, but you know, quality and quantity don't mix. The worst Nightmare on Elm Street movie is still better than pretty much anything other than the first Friday the 13th.
That's the truth, though.
Yeah.
Very true.
So now that we got the stream police out of the way, Sean, speaking of Nightmare on Elm Street, let's talk about Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. Film came out in 2010. Directed by Samuel Bayer, it stars Jackie Earle Haley as none other than Freddy Krueger, Rooney Mara as Nancy, Kyle Gallner as Quentin, Katie Cassidy as Chris, Thomas Decker as Jesse, and Kellen Lutz as Dean in a very amended early scene in the film. Yeah. The IMDb synopsis for the film is: the specter of a dead child rapist haunts the children of the parents who murdered him, stalking and killing them in their dreams.
Hello? Anyone here? Hello?
If you keep falling asleep, they're gonna kick you out of here.
Sorry. I had another nightmare last night. I can't tell.
If you're looking for more horror outside of the mainstream, look no further than Unsung Horrors, a podcast about underseen horror movies. I'm Lance.
And I'm Erica. Every other week, we'll cover a horror movie with fewer than 1,000 views on Letterboxd. We'll even give you double feature recommendations to pair with the movies we discuss.
From gothic to shot on video, from slashers to comedies, from giallo to J-horror, we'll cover all the subgenres. So join us as we unearth these hidden gems of horror.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Unsung Horrors, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Is there really any more? Is there anybody else out there that this is happening to?
Every time that I dream, there's always this man.
That's his mark, isn't it? Freddy.
Oh my God, you've seen him too. Who are you?
Remember me? It's me, it's you, it's Dean, it's Jesse, Chris. He's in all of our heads, Nancy. We gotta stop this.
How?
Don't fall asleep.
I haven't slept in 3 days.
We're running out of time. At the 70-hour mark, the insomniac will begin to experience micronaps. It means you're dreaming, but you don't know it. Even if you're awake. Oh, God. No. Just me. Stop! What does he want from us? Why are you screaming? I haven't even cut you yet.
I want to wake up! I'm gonna give you a little something that'll put you right to sleep. No. This might sting a bit.
Sean, I know you'd seen this movie before. I had to. Watching it again, what did you think of it?
Oh man, this is a movie that when it came out, I was very excited to see, and I liked it.
You and me both. I was super excited.
Yeah, man. Like I was, you know, like I can't even.
But why were you excited? I was primarily excited because of who they cast as Freddy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I didn't know, I had not seen his work before, but I really liked what he had done with it. And the look of Freddy, I think, like I said before, I think I was excited to see this movie because I felt like they were doing the right things that a remake should do, like that in 2010 would do for a movie like that. And I was excited to see how that would look in story, you know what I mean? But then, and I guess like they hit certain marks, but watching it today, and this is a movie that I own on Blu-ray.
That's astounding.
I know.
I mean, I ain't gonna give you shit for it. I own all kinds of movies, so I have no room to talk. I don't know if I would go out of my way to buy this.
I watched this movie probably an embarrassing amount of times too, though. So I will say that as well. But like watching it today, it's not. I gotta say, when you told me that we were watching this one and not the original, I was genuinely disappointed, and that says a lot because I'm still more afraid of the original Nightmare on Elm Street than I am of this movie, and I can't tell you why exactly, except for it is less imaginative, and that's what I want when you're making a movie about nightmares. You know what I mean? Like, I want the most imaginative, out of left field shit that you can throw at me, and that's what's so cool about doing a movie about nightmares, a horror movie. You know what I mean? And I just feel like I just verbatim copied some of the scenes from the original, but then it also like didn't do anything extra. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
No, this movie really doesn't. This movie is given the blueprint for the previous film, and it doesn't really do anything interesting with it.
Yeah, it's like it tries to make it more logical, but it really doesn't need to be. And I don't know. There were things that it didn't really fuck it up, but it wasn't extraordinary.
I mean, the issue is we don't need to see the scene again with Nancy in the bathtub.
Right.
We don't need to see scenes like that in this film that are from previous films because it does nothing to reinforce that the movie can't stand on its own.
Right. We want to see scenes like that, but totally different, that are new and like completely fresh. Like when that movie came out, like those images were so startling and so like memorable because they were so imaginative. You know what I mean? Like they came out of nowhere and it was terrifying. And
they ape so much stuff from the original.
Almost every gag.
Freddy coming through the wall when Nancy is in bed.
Yep.
The bathtub scene.
The blood from the ceiling. The
blood from the ceiling, but it's in a different context, which I honestly think if you do a scene from the original in a different context that makes it fresh and exciting, that's okay. But you know, the pools or the bathtub scene, the scene
where Chris gets swung around the room, I thought that was actually refreshing. But like, do one and
the scene with the body bag,
everything, even like the floor turning into blood, like that was kind of gimmicky.
Yeah.
From the original.
There's so much stuff where I'm just like, I don't need to see this again.
Right, like I've already seen it, you know?
And it's not like Nightmare on Elm Street 1, the original, has aged poorly.
Right.
It has aged quite well as a film. So, you know, it's not like I would tell someone to watch this over the original.
Right, no way. If you want to be afraid,
I wouldn't.
No, and like I said, like I'm still more afraid watching the original than I'm watching this one.
And as much as I like Jackie Earle Haley in this movie, which I do, he's not the problem with this film.
No, not at all.
Which is surprising because you would think recasting one of horror's big three slasher icons, the only one of the big three or four, I guess you can make the case for four, the one of the big four that talks and is audible and his personality is the reason that he's so beloved, recasting him as a new actor.
Yeah.
That would have been my biggest point of trepidation coming into this film, but you have Jackie Earle Haley who, I mean, he provides a Freddy that is closer to Freddy of A New Nightmare, which is the Freddy that Wes Craven made in the first film.
Yeah, a more serious, like scary Freddy.
Yeah, it's a closer to what I imagine Freddy being than, you know, gay Freddy in Nightmare 2. I mean, Nightmare 2 has a lot of gay undertones.
It's totally gay, yeah.
It's gay. It's the gay nightmare. I mean, they even talk about it in Never Sleep Again. They go into depth. It is the gay nightmare, regardless of whether or not it was intentional. And then when you get to Nightmare 3 and 4 and, you know, and 5 and especially Freddy's Dead, which we're going to be watching later this month, I mean, he's a jokester.
It's a clown. Yeah.
Oh, you're playing with power. Like, cool graphics. Like, that shit. It's great. I love it. That is why I love Freddy.
Well, that's also why New Nightmare is incredible.
Right, because it's not that. Right. Because it's the return to form for Freddy. It's Wes Craven's original idea.
It's him commenting on what Freddy turned into, like this pop culture, like this icon.
So, when we talk about this movie and Jackie Earle Haley's performance in this movie is the highlight of the movie.
Yeah, I agree.
The total absolute best thing about this movie is Jackie Earle Haley.
Yep.
Without a doubt. And it's unfortunate that we don't get to see enough of him.
Yeah.
Right? I felt like I could have used 30 minutes more Freddy and 30 minutes less of Kyle Gallner and Rooney Mara running around.
100%. And the thing is even when we do see Freddy, there's so much like weird, unnecessary extra CGI, like camera pans, weird shit going on that we don't need. Like, he's scary enough. You know what I mean? Like, I think that if they had let
that goddamn voice that Jackie Earle Haley is doing is terrifying.
Yeah, it's so scary. It's so good though. He's great. Like, if they just let it be a little bit, I think it would have been a little more effective. I think that's why the original is still so terrifying, because those scenes, and like if you watch that documentary, Never Sleep Again, you'll see there's special effects, and this is what made New Line so big. Were practical, and they were so disturbing, and that's what makes that franchise amazing. Still, it's that they rely on their practical effects and the shock value of those special effects. It's amazing. It's so good.
Yeah, this movie, Jackie Earle Haley is in makeup,
right?
But there's also a lot of CGI going.
Yeah, like all of the jump scares come from like a strange fake CGI camera pan into his face from like that's like superimposed onto like a black background. It's so like cheesy. The jumps are like forced, whereas like, you know what I mean? I think that's what I'm saying is like the original, it was with ease, and with this one it's so contrived and fake.
I mean, the original didn't really rely on jump scares either.
Exactly. It was just shocking.
But Wes Craven has never really been about jump scares as a director anyways.
No, they're more just built into the whole thing.
Yeah. And that's my ultimate problem with this movie versus the original Nightmare. You can tell that Samuel Bayer, who obviously he did not write the film, the writing credit on the film goes to Wesley Strick and Eric Hesserer, with characters created by Wes Craven, pretty much only Freddy Krueger. You can tell that Samuel Bayer is not nearly as talented a director as Wes Craven is.
Oh, no way.
He doesn't understand the idea as much.
No, he doesn't understand what's truly scary about that. That's one of the things. Is like what made the original so terrifying is the nightmare. Is the falling asleep, and like it's kind of like glazed over in this movie. But we don't really, the nightmares aren't that scary, you know, they're so quick and like.
Well, you know what also made the original great was we actually cared about the characters.
Right, exactly.
I don't care about any of the characters in this movie.
Yeah, like the girl we care about the most dies halfway through the, you know, like when Chris dies, you're like, what the hell? Yeah,
because, you know, Nancy in the original, played by Heather Langenkamp, who is still my absolute favorite. Female horror character in any horror film. I mean, Nancy Thompson is the quintessential horror heroine to the T for me as a fan.
Oh, yeah.
Rooney Mara is not a bad actress. I know this. You know this. I've seen her in good stuff. I loved her in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
I know she's a good actress. This movie, they might as well have told her, just be the generic teenager that you like can imagine every other horror movie that's made now in the, you know, 2010 forward era.
Yeah. I told her to be
She's generic, super generic.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
I think her and Kyle Gallner are both like that in this movie.
We're not given any reason to like root for them.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like, they don't, yeah.
Which is really disappointing because I feel like like I said, there is a whole interesting story there because we've seen it be interesting. We've seen those characters be memorable.
Absolutely.
We've wanted to root for those characters in the original film. And then in this film, they're just cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Kellen Lutz dies immediately.
Yeah.
Thomas Dekker dies, you know, a third of the way into the movie. But we never get any reason to care about these characters dying.
Yeah, no. We're just told that.
Yeah. When Johnny Depp dies in the original film, it's upsetting because you don't want him to die because you care about his character.
Right.
You care about his relationship with Nancy. And then in this film, it's just like his version in this film is the Kyle Gallner character who doesn't even die in this film, which I found was a strange choice. You know, it's just his character is so cookie cutter and bland.
Yeah, it really is.
But I really think this just boils down to they put a lot of thought and intensity into the Freddy story.
Yeah.
And they should have just told the story of Freddy.
Yeah.
And like not tried to do anything with the teenagers.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. It would have been different, at least.
It would have really changed up. It would have really changed up what I would expect from a remake. That makes sense.
No, yeah, that would be actually really interesting. Yeah, but this.
I mean, think about the Rob Zombie Halloween remake. It does some things with the character of Michael Myers that are like drastically different.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, extremely.
And this movie does nothing other than confirm and kind of play up something that Wes Craven wanted to do with the original film.
Right.
When Freddy Krueger was supposed to be a child molester in the original Nightmare, and they backed off of that because of that whole kindergarten case in the 80s where the kids were saying that they were raped by teachers. So they backed off of it because it was too heavy of a subject to be presenting on TV in the film. And this movie goes full bore. I mean, Freddy Krueger is a rapist. There are pictures of him raping Nancy, I'm assuming. They don't show it, but that's what you're led to believe by her reaction.
Yeah, they find out that they know that they told the truth when they told them that he was abusing them.
Right. But they don't really do anything different with the story or the character.
Yeah, basically everything else. This whole movie was just to clarify his origin, and the rest is just usurped from the rest of the movie, like the good parts of the rest of the original series, because there's nothing different about it except for the details.
And I'll give them credit. It doesn't really copy the first film scene for scene. It does kind of take bits and pieces from other films. I mean, in the first Nightmare film, we don't see how, Fred becomes Freddy.
Right. I just feel like it's just not taken care of in the same way. I mean, there's a level of detail to story that I think that Wes Craven just understood that makes it so much more,
because he wrote the film.
Well, I mean, that's true too, and that's one of my favorite fun facts about the movie is that it's based on a rough true story. But I love that. There's something so purely terrifying about that's human about that, and he gets that. But and little details like the fact that I forget the name of the character, but Thomas Decker, Jesse, he gets murdered in the jail cell, and it's just there are things that they don't explain, like how that was just they said he died in his sleep. Remember, I think, and it's just that's just weird because in the original he takes care of that by it looks like it makes it look like he hanged himself, they kill themselves, and I thought they were gonna go there with that's how Kellen Lutz dies. It looks like a suicide, but it's just eventually the movie gets rolling and they're trying to include the cool parts, and you forget these details that are much more, that when they sink in, it's a lot more disturbing than more blood on the wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The issue really is they had the option to do something interesting with this film. They could have really thought outside the box. Maybe they were constrained by the studio, and the studio said, hey, you have to beat A, B, and C. You have no option. But I would like to believe that there could have been some kind of an interesting way to retell this story in a way that wasn't so cookie cutter.
Yeah, I feel like it just was played so safe. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, at least the Friday the 13th remake, which I know isn't the best movie, I think the Friday the 13th remake, which came out a year before this one, I think that's a better movie.
Interesting. I watched that movie and I'm pretty sure I just hated it. I just need to rewatch it and I might agree with you. I might totally agree with you.
I mean, neither one of them are good movies per se, but if we're talking about remakes and their success as a standalone film, a film that stands on its own, the Friday the 13th is not a shot-for-shot remake.
That's true.
There's a lot more going on. I mean, it has characters going to the lake, and then the character's brother going to the lake to find her. I mean, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And this movie is really just the same exact thing.
Yeah,
totally. Freddy and Nancy. That's it.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like the way they could have really, 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 really thrown this whole kind of formula, the Freddy formula for a loop. I have my idea. The one thing they could have changed in this movie that would have made it a completely different film. The Freddy character, at least. I'm curious, do you know what I'm going to say?
I don't know. I'm trying to... No, I don't know. What are you going to say?
They should have had it where Freddy wasn't actually molesting the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Where he was actually innocent. Because they kind of play on that a little bit. They're like, well, we never found anything, and we just played judge, jury, and executioner.
No, that's absolutely... That's exactly what they did, but that they like backslide at the very last second, and they're like, "Oh, never mind. That's what
he was raping."
Right,
yep.
Right. And I totally agree. I thought, and that's what I liked about it the first time I watched this movie. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's awesome!" Like that's like a real like. I really did like the idea that they just because that is what that whole scare was about. You know, back in the '80s, that's what that was about. It was like the Crucible all over again. It was the Salem witch trials. Like, that shit was happening, and I love that. Would have been so cool and interesting, and I don't know, at least a little different.
That would have been awesome. That would have been so great if, at the end of the film, when Rooney Mara and Kyle Gallner, Nancy and Quentin are at the, what is it, daycare, kindergarten?
Yeah, preschool.
And they're looking for Freddy Krueger's cave, his den, where he supposedly was raping these kids. They didn't find anything.
That would have been
great, because then you would have understood why he's getting revenge on them.
Right.
Because he was just a guy who loved kids and they were his life, and then he was unjustly murdered.
Yeah.
Because the way that they have Jackie Earle Haley play Fred Krueger before he becomes Freddy, there is a lot of doubt. He's playing it so straight with a lack of menace.
Yeah, absolutely. He's great.
That I felt like that if they had gone that route, this would have been an exponentially more interesting film.
Yeah, I think so too. I definitely thought so when I first saw it. I thought that was cool, and then they just last second.
Yeah, it's really a cop out.
Yeah, it is.
It's a total cop out. But I don't know what it's copping out. Like, do they have to reinforce the fact that Freddy's a bad guy, or do they just not want to have to write something interesting like, oh, it actually turns out that he is just trying to get revenge on the people who unjustly killed him.
Yeah.
But he wasn't actually a bad guy. Like, why is that so unbelievable?
Well, I think, also part of what makes the original still so mystical, and this goes for a lot of the movies that came out before the millennium, is that there's a lack of explanation. And that's kind of okay. I think that's cool. That's what I loved about Halloween, and that's what I kind of hated about Rob Zombie's remake. Even though I thought it was definitely interesting to see why Michael Myers turned into such like an evil creature, I kind of liked the original, and that there was no explanation. Like, a kid suddenly turns evil one day. That's terrifying enough for me. And the fact that I don't know, that I didn't know, that's one of the reasons why Freddy Krueger in, the original, you don't really know. It's implied. You kind of can guess, but there's so much going on that, and that would be the only way to make that more interesting, is to tell us that he's innocent. But honestly, the not knowing is there's a lot of value in not knowing.
Right. Well, but, like you said, the current audiences they gotta have everything has got to be.
Yeah, I think that's unfortunate. I wish there was a way to sort of appeal without giving everything away like that. You don't need to know. I think maybe, I don't know. I think maybe we don't have to know all the details, or at least let us fill in the blanks by ourselves.
But again, this movie kind of at the end of the day really just feels like a cash grab.
Yeah, it would definitely. Oh, I absolutely.
With an interesting performance by Jackie Earle Haley, where he makes Freddy his own.
Yeah, I agree. That's what this was. This was a really well done.
I would love to see Jackie Earle Haley play Freddy again in a film that the script is written by people that care.
Yeah,
have a very vested interest in telling an interesting story.
He definitely should.
Rather than this.
I definitely would love to see him play a villain in a horror movie again.
Yeah, but I'm talking him playing Freddy. I mean, I would like to see him play Freddy again.
Yeah.
In another Freddy movie. And they're going to make another one. They talked about it earlier this year. They've talked about rebooting A Nightmare on Elm Street again.
Well, next year, there's nothing but horror movie remakes and reboots and sequels coming out. So I'm not surprised.
There's a Friday 13th coming out next year, right?
Yep, sure is.
What are your feelings on the ending of this film versus the ending in the original?
I felt like it was the same thing to me. I don't know. It didn't feel any different. I was like, okay, I know it's coming, and it just wasn't surprising. I don't know. I thought it was a cool effect, but that's about all it was. What do you think? Like, you talking about that last scare?
Yeah, I feel like in the original film, because of the way the original film operates and kind of the world that it operates in, where we have this kind of, there's a question as to what's reality and what isn't with the Nancy's kind of state at the end of the film, where she just opens the door and then she's going outside. It's kind of this huge kind of dream state question.
Well, yeah.
In this film, they kill Freddy. He dies. And then he is magically alive at the end of the movie with no explanation. In the original film, there is so much doubt because that was such a great part about the original film. And in Never Sleep Again, they even mention Wes Craven didn't even want to do a coda at the end.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which would have made more sense in the original film with no coda, with Freddy not grabbing Ronnie Blakely through the window. Yeah. That would have been a better ending anyways. But alas, 6 movies later, we're here because, you know, Bob Shea and wanting sequels, which ultimately was the right choice because we have Nightmare on Elm Street. Anyways, but
and we get the opportunity for Wes Craven's new Nightmare, and that wouldn't have been able to happen without that whole franchise.
Right. But the real issue is in this film, the universe and the rules that they are kind of playing in, they make it so that Freddy, understandably, and they explain it, he dies.
Well, the problem I have really is that, like, because the same thing kind of happens, it's the same logic, at least, as it was in the original. If she can pull him out of the dream, then Freddy is in their world and he can then be harmed, he can be killed. And that's what happens in the original, but it's the details. It's like you said, the way the world is set up.
And the fact that she, like, none of what happens in this movie happens in the original. Right. In the original, she just, like, opens a door and all of a sudden it's daylight.
Well, what happens also is that the mother, Freddy Krueger is on fire. We don't know what really happens. Freddy Krueger's on fire. He runs upstairs and jumps on top of her sleeping mother, and the two of them, like, disappear into the bed. It's dreamy. It's disturbing.
And Nancy turns around and she's like, I take back everything I gave you. And he just disappears.
Right. But so we're not really, there's no answers given to us. We don't know. We just see that happen. We see her freak out.
She never definitively kills him, like in this movie, where she cuts his head practically off.
Exactly. And then you cut to, like, what we think we're back in the real world, and then you see little details like the convertible closes on them, and you can tell that they didn't plan on it because you hear the reaction, and then you see the stripes.
Oh my god, that ending is, as much as I don't like that coda for reasons that the universe, even in that movie, kind of has a hard time explaining.
It's still built better.
It is such a good ending.
Exactly. It's still, that's what I'm saying.
Friday the 13th, where it beats you over the head with Jason jumping out of the water.
Exactly.
I mean, it's so subtle. And then you have the car driving off, and then you had the little girls jumping rope, singing the song.
Exactly.
I mean, it's so well done.
It's built.
And this film's just like fucking gore.
Exactly. Fucking gore.
I mean, it's fucking gore. It's Connie Britton having her eyes stabbed out by Freddy.
Yeah, from the back of her. Oh, it's amazing. It's like, it's so true, though. It's like Wes Craven knows how to build that shit so beautifully that you almost don't see it coming, or that you just, like, you're always on edge. He creates such a specific, imaginative, detailed world that we know the rules, you know, without even looking, like, that we never know what's coming next, or we aren't expected to understand what's happening right now. And I think that's amazing. Like, and that's what lacks in the newer horror movies, is that we have to have an explanation or be proven everything.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is this movie goes so far as to explain everything, and then they break their own rules in the last 10 minutes of the movie.
Exactly. I
mean, can you imagine in Star Wars if you know, they blow up the Death Star, and then at the end, when they're getting their awards, all of a sudden they explode and the planet explodes because, lol, they didn't actually kill the Death Star. Like, that's essentially what this movie does.
Right.
It sets down how the rules work, and then at the end of the movie, like, nah, just kidding.
Yeah,
we're gonna you know, plug a sequel that never happened.
Right. It's a big finger to the audience. You just watched a movie that doesn't even it's for nothing.
Yeah. You know, we're gonna plug a sequel that never happened and never will happen because they're rebooting Nightmare again.
Oh, because we're redoing it.
It's the ending for this movie is an insult, and it really just further, in my mind, solidifies the difference between the people who were involved in this film versus Wes Craven and crew in the original.
Yeah, this whole movie, I think, relies on fans' knowledge and understanding of the world that Wes Craven created for you to enjoy it, and I think that's why I liked it at first. But then, and also the rest of it was to get the rest of the audience in, they threw in a lot of gore and cheap jump scares, and the combination of those two things doesn't make a great movie.
Isn't it cool that they say, I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy, and you're in my world now, bitch? Like, isn't that so cool that they, like, quote the other movies? Like, no, it's not.
I know. I don't need it.
Yeah, I really don't need it, because all it shows is a shallow, minimal understanding of what made the original movies great. The one-liners aren't what made the movie great. What made the movie great was it was telling an interesting story that the people who are watching the movie care about.
Exactly.
Yeah. Skip it or watch your best performance, Sean.
It's a skip. You don't need to watch the remake. I own it. I realize that. I don't know. It's hard to say skip it. It's not worth it. Best performance, easily Jackie Earle Haley. I would even go as far as to say I would have loved to see what he did if he were in the original series. I would love to see him in that world. Directed by Wes Craven. I would love to see that. But yeah.
Do you know the story behind Jackie Earle Haley in the original film?
No, I don't.
You don't know this story?
Oh man, is this going to be some awesome trivia? I need it.
So Johnny Depp went with Jackie Earle Haley as Jackie Earle Haley auditioned for Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh my God. I think I might have even read that somewhere, but didn't realize it was him.
Depp was chosen over Jackie Earle Haley by Wes Craven.
Oh my God. That is amazing.
Right? It's pretty great.
That's awesome. You know, I think I read that somewhere, but I didn't realize that who Jackie Earle Haley was at the time. That's amazing. That's so amazing. That's funny.
For me, it's a skip. This movie it's so inferior to the original and does so little with the premise from the original. Like, it just copies it so blatantly that there's no reason to watch this movie.
Exactly. It's like you said, if I were going to ever suggest to watch A Nightmare on Elm Street, I would never say this one first. I would always be referring to the original.
I would say never watch this movie.
Never.
There's no point.
Yeah.
There's really no. Jackie Earle Haley's performance is good, but I don't think it's good enough to be like, yeah, you should watch this movie.
I agree.
And like you said, best performance, Jackie Earle Haley. No one else really does anything exciting in this movie.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because, I mean, you have some really top-tier actors.
Yeah, like I said.
Mara, Jackie Earle Haley, Clancy Brown, Connie Britton. I mean, you know, they're fantastic actors. I've seen them do awesome stuff in stuff way better than this.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think the film has on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, that's tough. I know that when it came out, people were really scared of it, but that's just because it's a Nightmare on Elm Street. I want to say I bet it's like a 54%.
15%.
Ooh, wow, it's dropped.
Visually faithful but lacking the depth and subversive twists that made the original so memorable,
Agreed.
The Nightmare on Elm Street remake lives up to its title in the worst possible way.
Damn.
Calm yourself.
Calm yourself.
Audience score, however, is 43%.
Okay. That's what I would, yeah, okay.
This movie, if they had done a couple different things, I think actually could have been an interesting movie.
Yeah.
So, well, before I talk about this Thursday's Kulturecast, Sean, anything you want to plug?
Nothing new yet as of right now. But as always, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm Seanifer. And on Facebook, I'm Sean Liang.
And as always, you can follow me on Twitter at Kulturestash. And if you like what you're hearing now, head on over to cultureshock.com/Kulturecast to check out 100+ episodes of the Kulturecast, including 2 years worth of Horrortober podcasts. That music you're hearing at the beginning and the end of the Kulturecast is from our good friends over at Wavoka. That song is Lament off of their self-titled first album. You can check them out over at wavoka.bandcamp.com. Patreon.com/culture_shocked is where you can go to kick a couple dollars our way. And every little bit helps us bring you good, entertaining content. This Thursday, we're going to be talking about Brian Yuzna's body horror classic, slightly underrated film, if I do say so myself. I enjoy it quite a lot. Society. Sean, I'm assuming you've never seen it before.
No, I'm excited.
It is something.
Yes.
Where we are stark contrasting from this film and that.
Yes.
So yeah, make sure to check that one out.